Amy Rodrigues, and welcome back to the Canine Chronicle Time Will Tell edition, where we're going to go back and speak to some of our historians in the sport of dogs and have them tell us about, first I'm going to ask Mr. James Mitchell, Jimmy Mitchell. He's an icon. If you don't know who he is, you haven't been in dog shows. So Mr. Jimmy Mitchell, how did you first get started in the sport of dogs?
I lived at a project in 1956 in Boston. I wasn't making any money. Went into a dog shop and told the lady I'd shove snow. It was 50 cents. And she said, all right, and not realizing that a plow had covered the area. So I went back in and I said, ma'am, I'm terribly sorry. That was a big sidewalk. It's going to have to be $1. I'm terribly sorry. My friend in the back came out and gave me $2, and $2 when you live in the project and you're 13 years old.
A lot of money.
And I didn't know it was $2 until I went to the drugstore and got some hot chocolate for 25 cents and gave the $1 and it opened up and it was $2.
Wow.
A week later I went back and thanked her and I said, you didn't have to do that. And every day I went back for a week and thanked her.
Aww.
She said, look kid, I'm busy. This dog needs dry. Come over here and hold this dry and hold this brush, and wherever it's wet, you just keep blowing all the water out of it. And
that was your
that
start?
was my introduction to dogs.
Oh, do you remember what breed that was?
It was just something in a grooming shop.
Oh.
2 months later, she said, you want to go to a dog show? And it was my first dog show on August 17th,
1956.
Champion Road Coach Roadster went best in show under Mrs. Renner.
See, historian.
And I saw my
Historian.
first old English sheepdog and didn't know what it was, but it was just beautiful. It may have been Duke George, I'm not sure.
Duke George.
Yeah, in 1959, I heard about Westminster, so I wanted to go to Westminster. And when you live in a project, you don't have much money. But I had $43. I took a bus, stayed at the YMCA, came in and was petrified because I had never been in a YMCA. And I put the chair, and I know people will laugh, I put the chair against the door so there wouldn't be a problem. Now I would take the chair and hinges away. But
Oh, wow.
Mrs. Clark went best in show.
Wow.
Claire Festoon.
And he knows the names of the dogs. Told you, a real historian for the sport of dogs. You young people, you need to pay attention to this. This is the meat and potatoes of what we do.
3 years later, I went to work for Bill Trainer.
Wow.
Stayed for 4 or 5 years. I went to work for Mrs. Clark, then Mrs. Rogers, and was going to stay with her for 2 years. And when she retired, got married to Jim, I was going to stay on with Richard Bowell, which I did for years.
Amazing. These names, if you don't know the names that he's dropping right now, you haven't been in the sport for very long, because these were my icons growing up as well.
There has to be an age difference. I'm pushing an 80 and I know you're not.
I'm 50, so you got 30 on me. All right, so one funny story about when you first started showing dogs. What was a funny little thing that you could share? And we may get Jimmy back on a Zoom call someday down the road and get more stories from him, but today this is just going to be a little teaser.
Well, this is a little bit of history. Some people don't think it's funny. I think it was funny. I was helping Mrs. Park, and she asked me about checking a ring. I said, well, I'll go check the ring, and it was a minute, and there was a lady standing next to me. Ma'am, can you just hold the dog? And I went and I checked the ring, and I came back and took the dog, and Mrs. Clark was standing there, red-faced, but not too. And she said, I have to tell you something. I said, yes, ma'am, but the ring. She said, I'm not worried about the ring now. Never asked the wife of the best in show judge to hold a dog when you're probably going to go best in show.
Oh no!
And that's all I'm telling you, the whole history.
Oh, that's a great story. Who wants to see more from Jimmy Mitchell?
And then we'll go to Percy Roberts and Alva Rosenberg and the greats of the breed.
Amazing.
And the great stories that we don't know when it comes to Desi Murphy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get you. Maybe we'll get you and Desi on a Zoom call together. What do you think?
You'll have to go on for weeks.
Maybe we'll go on for weeks. All right. Thank you, Jimmy.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Bye-bye.